what you state in the certificate are really fake. Only on a mistake on I can carry. So the best thing is the certificate that please ask him to review it and get that vetted by someone, because I've seen situations where software payments are made, or purchase of hardware. So the person what is stated in that certificate is your life. Fully out of that one finished. So if at all you are planning to not deduct TDS, ask him to draft that narration. Draft the narration in such a manner that your asset protected again. Fully out of payment for, I've seen a certificate quite recently. There was a $100,000 payment that was made quite recently for a very leading company in Kerala. Not $100,000, so $50,000 payment. He said payments for purchase of software, no TDS deducted. My client, it's good that people make mistakes. The income tax authority has issued a certificate saying, please explain why TDS has not been deducted on the software payment. Now, as a lawyer, I can't even say other one than I can't even admit that, because that idiot has prepared a saying that purchase of software, and he certified it as well. So it's very difficult for me as a lawyer to sit and defend a client, because it's already admitted, saying that it's payment of nature of software.
And it's not easy to get out of this, because purchase of software, according to chartered accountants, what they do is purchase of hardware. Income tax is so they'll ask you for your accounts, and then I'll have to produce the accounts. They'll ask, look at my assets, and then there'll be hardware asset, where is the asset being shown you, and it's cool.
What is not the software? It's like service like hosting or something.
That is hosting. Hosting is what TDS applicable.
Everything is happening.
Any not doesn't payment. Ask them for a PAN, if they don't have a PAN. See, the other is there's a technical item for that, depends on country to country. Some countries you can take an argument TDS applicable. Some countries you can take. Other discussion with someone support. If the hosting service, let's say software as a service, SaaS model, let's say your license or your purchasing of software. Technically, under the Income Tax Act, TDS is applicable. Another long shot of the story. However, depending on certain countries, see, India has extended what we call a double taxation avoidance agreement in certain countries. Certain countries, you can take a benefit under the tax treaty.
So for online payments, amount will be keep it as fixed, or can I say that we can give it?
So the amount assume it's $100. You purchase a software, you should technically deduct 10. Okay, and pay him 90. You can't pay him 90. If you pay him 90, you won't give the software. That's a practical there. You have to pay him 100. But you should have deducted 10, which you have not deducted. So it means you will have to work backwards and say, for him to get, so it means his net of tax is 100. So some X amount minus 10% of X gives 100. You have to work backwards and find out what is this amount.
So there won't be any tax certificate, TD certificate.
You are required to give a TDS certificate. So that's the reason why I'm saying, especially if you're downloading software, I have to. But some of my clients were told that if you consult them, because they can claim credit for the TDS. The TDS is not lost. Write to them and ask them, is it possible for me to deduct? If you deduct taxes, you can claim credit for it.
It's not a cost for them.
It's not a cost for them. Please understand that taxes that you deducted and paid is not a cost for them. Okay, so you should do it.
And TDS certificates are generated online. Again, return filing with a TDS certificate online generated. I don't have to bother about that. So, legally compliant, everything is done in the way.
Life is
Foreign payment service on the TDS deducted. And on all foreign remittances, you have to discharge service tax also. Okay. As an incubator, you are exempted from your output service of up to 50 lakhs. But with respect to all foreign payments made by you, you have to discharge service tax. Okay. Another Sandosha will get into indirect taxes. Okay. Now, what are the type of indirect taxes which are there in India? Service tax, then education is service tax imposed in the system, that's all. Service tax, what is the other indirect tax? Value added tax. Then tax and both the same. Huh? Road tax is not exactly indirect tax, no.
Import and export tax.
Huh?
Import and export.
Customs duty.
Customs tax.
Okay, fine. Then these are the indirect taxes which are there. You have indirect taxes levied by the center, you have indirect taxes levied by the state. Center, excise duty, service tax, customs, and a central sales tax. State, excise duty, value added tax, entry tax, octroi, entertainment tax, luxury tax. Okay. Now, Balu, he started with a joke saying that company incorporated I have to pay stamp duty, other I get services, I have to pay service tax, I manufacture goods, excise duty, I set it that. Okay. That's an extension. And business income tax based. I take a film they are entertainment tax. Our entertainment tax is not. And then I have to put Samadana. Samadana, say, bar, and they are service tax, VAT, luxury tax. That is our situation right now. A lot of tax which is applicable. Okay. Okay. As a software company or an incubator, we look at what are the taxes which is impacting us. Let's for the time being ignore all of the taxes. E plus 10 indirect taxes here. Which all taxes do you think has an impact as far as you guys are concerned? Service tax applies. Right. Does excise duty apply?
No.
Excise duty? No. No. Okay. Customs?
Yes.
Yes. On your import you have to pay customs duty. Right. Central sales tax?
Yes.
Yes. On what?
Selling something.
Selling what?
So, in two different stages and all.
Like
Something hardware.
hardware. If you are selling hardware, if you are selling software, there is no problem. Okay. Those are the different. Also, okay. Central sales tax. Then you have value added tax.
Yes.
Yes. Entry tax. No, it's only if you are bringing in goods. Capital entry tax is there. Octroi is also not there. Entertainment tax and luxury tax is obviously not there. Okay. Now, the truth of the matter is, excise duty is also relevant as far as you guys are concerned. Because when you develop a software, the activity amounts to manufacture. Okay. The software developing the activity amounts to manufacture. And when you burn it on a CD and you clear it, you have to pay excise duty. The only reason you guys are currently protected is there is a threshold exemption. Income tax is slab on 2 lakhs you don't have to pay. Otherwise, excise duty, the slab is 1.5 crores. Okay? So up to 1.5 crores, you don't have to pay excise duty. The moment you cross 1.5 crores, you will have an excise duty. So currently that is. Now the burning issue. Now the burning issue as far as you guys are concerned is service tax. Okay? Service tax, now what is the threshold exemption? What is the threshold exemption? 10 lakhs now. 10 lakhs of losses you guys have to pay. You have to pay.
Yeah, service tax registration
Authority service tax, correct. Service tax registration are taken. Service tax and some rent exemptions are there. One is the normal exemption, 10 lakh rupees. Okay. Any service provider gets the exemption of 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs you don't have to pay service tax. Every year you get
registration.
9 lakhs across everything you have to take registration.
Till that
you don't have to take registration. 10 lakhs from everything you have a liability. What are 10 lakhs across in the next year from zero itself you have to pay service tax. Income tax like 2 lakhs exemption is always there. Service tax once you cross 10 lakhs, okay, then you are no longer entitled to a 10 lakhs exemption. Is that clear? Now,
I have a doubt. Like, see, I am expecting from orders. Okay. So I know work it's going to tax. So for India, it's the output. And I am coming out of my tax.
right.
I mean, cut tax.
Right.
So another should I take the service tax registration now, or once I get the order, then
Once you read it, once it touches 9 lakhs, you take registration. 10 lakhs is the thing you can start discharge. Okay. Now, if you are in incubate,
will they ask some document from our side? Client is saying the
normally they are only bothered about the invoice having the service tax registration number. Service tax registration number and other diesel or credit available. So they don't. But Jala they even ask for the registration certificate. Some customers. Okay. Now, normal companies have 10 lakhs on exemption. For an incubating company, you have exemption up to 15 lakhs. Okay. 50 lakhs if you are incubating, you have exemption up to 50 lakhs. So you have 50 lakhs exemption. Does everybody, do you feel that it's a good thing to avail exemptions?
Yes.
Assuming your turnover is 30 lakhs, would you go for the exemption or would you not go for the exemption? You would go for the exemption. Why is this? You will look at it slightly differently. All समय exemption for example, let's assume that your turnover is 30 lakhs. Okay? Right? In 30 lakhs you are getting a lot of services. For consultation, software other say 10 lakh rupees worth of services on the service taxes paid. So ease in 1 lakh rupees on service tax. 1 lakh rupees is service tax. Okay? Currently, how you do it is, say 11 lakhs is your cost, your profit remains 30 lakhs, service tax on charge is that. So your profit stands at 19 lakhs and profit is into that. As of now, currently what you do is 30 lakhs is your billing, 10 plus 1, your LNM 90 lakhs is your profit. Okay? Assuming you are in a situation wherein you do take service tax registration, customers service tax charge credited company. Okay? If you are entering into another software company or a manufacturing company or another service provider, then for example, I can take credit. 30 lakhs assuming 3 lakhs service tax charge. Whether you raise a 30 lakhs without service tax or whether you will 30 lakhs plus 3 lakhs service tax, I don't mind. Because if 3 lakhs in the credit I get. That's the 1 lakh that you paid as service tax to your service providers. That's the concept. Government deposit for 2 lakhs deposit. Basically, you will bill 33 lakhs. Okay? This is not 2 lakhs in government deposit. You end up with 31 lakhs. Right? From that, you deduct 11 lakhs that you have already paid. You end up with 20 lakhs as against 19 lakhs. Understood the situation? First situation is where you do not have service tax registration, your profit is 19 lakhs. In the second situation, where you take the service tax registration, your profit stands increased by 1 lakh. So depending on our receiving expenses, service tax and billing board service tax compensating it may be better to take service tax registration. Okay, that is one more one. As far as these guys are concerned, service tax rate, I am not getting into all those. Now, the primary issue that you all should be aware of is similar to TDS. TDS is service provider, it is exempt from tax. It's very clear, right? We are exempt. But the services that we receive, chala cases, we are liable to pay service tax as a receiver of service. And reverse charge mechanism. Okay, this is called reverse charge mechanism. TDS is service tax is slightly different variant. Normally, when I provide services, I have to pay service tax. With respect to these services, when I receive, I have to pay service tax. Or that I have missed out is import of service. Foreign remittance service tax. For example, let's ignore arbitrary individual advocate. Assuming I raise a bill on you, Okay? And as an individual advocate, I raise a bill on, let's say for 10,000 drafting of an agreement. Okay? Your turnover is below 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs or on the bill that I have raised on you, you have to take registration and discharge service tax. Okay? On all these expenses that you are incurring, you have to take registration and discharge service tax. Now, number of incubate or and the turnover is less than 10 lakhs. Other the service tax liability is wrong. Even if I pay $1 or there is more ruba in that situation also, you are required to take registration and discharge service tax. We have certain non-compliance, but with respect to service tax, we are compliant. Have you wondered why service tax is compliant? 2012, they came out with a provision saying if service tax is not willfully paid, there is imprisonment provision. Point number 1. Income tax or TDS deduction, the rate of tax or rate of interest which is payable is 1% per month. Which works out to 12%. Under fund borrow cost. Under service tax, if service tax is not paid, the rate of interest applicable is 18%. 50% more than the TDS bill. Penalties and all those things separate. Let's not get into it. So because of which, in a situation like that, you have to take registration and pay tax. The good thing is, assuming you are registered and you are billing service tax, this is refund. You can adjust it. Against your output service tax liability, you can adjust all the tax that you have paid to the government. It may be prudent to take registration, discharge tax, registration output tax is discharging there. You have to do an evaluation separately. Okay? Now, one is individual advocates, and then second, government related, you can check it. Direct, okay. As you have a company. Company, direct salary, payment. For example, normally sitting fees payment. The company is liable to pay service tax on the payment to the director. That is one. Then rent a car. This is another area where all of us will be hit. Airport station, a company always avails the rent a cab service. Any situation you always avail. You don't have travel, most people take a rent a cab. Rent a cab service provided. Again, you are responsible to pay tax. Irrespective of your turnover. Our turnover may be but still, you have to pay service tax on the service received by you. Practically, I am looking at a bill received. Okay, for dropping at the airport. This you have to say 40%. Now, you have to pay service tax at 12.36%. I am looking at the cab operator has raised a bill on me. Okay, I am an incubating company. I am doing 40%. I have to discharge service tax at 12.36%. So rent a cab is not manpower by not very well. Security service, chala company will do it. The other one is works contract service. Works contract service is peculiar in that you have computer AMC. Even on that, that will fall under works contract service. Or AMC, a vehicle repair. All those situations will fall under works contract. Basically, goods and services randomly combined in a situation. Our liabilities on you to discharge tax. Okay? You should note. The thing is that I am sure your expenses and the incurring. You will be incurring, and I am 100% sure none of you are discharging tax. You are looking at payment of tax, 18% interest, penalty, and all those things. We can always contest. But for sure, tax plus interest is a cost. Unnecessary cost. Advisable, monitor your expenses, every liability, discharge it immediately. Okay?
There are tedious. That's what tedious case. In a tedious case, tedious deducted government. Again, interest rate is not 1%, it becomes 1.5%. Service tax is their rate. So that is something that we need to be clearly aware of as far as all these services.
Then now, VAT, as far as you guys are concerned, the primary issue is licensing of software. VAT page number. Licensing of software is liable to VAT. The software sell you, license you, you have to discharge VAT. The only difference vis-a-vis service tax is that service tax you have 50 lakhs threshold exemption under because you are an incubating company. Our exemption, VAT, you cross 10 lakhs, you are liable to pay VAT. What? And software as a service. Pure service which does not involve licensing of software, service tax is. But wherever there is licensing of software involved, you will have to discharge service tax and VAT. And VAT is the threshold exemption. Please note it is 10 lakhs. Due date for filing on the returns and all those things will just skip. Excise duty 1.5 crores are not very relevant for you guys to skip. You guys can.
No, I got it out. Actually, if we are giving a software, plus they are giving kind of training and all. So the software will be coming under VAT and the other will be under service.
Software will come under VAT and service tax. Both will be available. Okay. The other pure services will be subject to service tax. If you are billing it separately, we will provide it as an additional. Consolidated value on and the value. If you have a separate value identified for training, you need to discharge only service tax.
Okay, we just quickly run through all the other compliance also. Kerala shops and establishment. Whenever you are registered, immediately take a Kerala shop. I'm sure that most of you have it. Do you have it? Okay. Professional tax also comes under Kerala shops and establishment. It's a coverage under Kerala shops and establishment, and you have to do it based on the corporation slab rates on a half-yearly basis. That has to be done. Okay. Employees EPF. How many of you here have more than 10 employees?
10 employees.
10 employees or more. 10 employees or more. Okay. When you come to 10 employees or more, please be aware of ESI Act. Okay. 20 employees or more, please be aware of the EPF Act. Okay. That's right now it's not applicable, so I'm not touching on it.
So for 10 employees, you'll also need to file for provident fund also, right?
Yeah, provident fund also will have to file. That recent amendment has come in recently. I mean, 10 employees or more has come in. And then you also have the Payment of Gratuity Act, where that again, not touching it because 5 years or more, the company is in stuff, etc. Kerala Labour Welfare Fund scheme that to contribute payment of bonus. Okay. Is this going to be your first year? Yes.
Yes.
Allowed in first year. Okay. Second year. First year, were you in a profit position or in a loss position? Okay, fine. So you have a leverage there because under Payment of Bonus Act for the first 5 years, okay, if the company has not incurred any profit, you can still come out of the Payment of Bonus Act portion. But yet, whenever it becomes applicable, you need to comply with all these regulations. But another thing that you need to be aware of is when you're giving work on contract, okay, for example, construction work or any other aspect, and if the contractor has more than 10 employees within his perspective, you should ensure that the contractor is discharging EPF and ESI on his employees' liabilities. Okay, so that is something that you need to ensure. So, as part of your contract, again, when drafting the contract, please ensure that you put in a clause to the extent stating that all EPF and ESI liabilities of that particular worker should lie with the contractor, not with you. And the contractor should also provide you monthly proof on the remittances made as far as EPF and ESI is concerned. Else, the labor department can come back after you instead of the contractor. So that's something that you need to be aware of as far as the entire portions are concerned.
I think, Jawad, I think we'll have another session purely on labor law compliance. I think it's a story in itself. Quickly, what are the common starting mistakes? I think we dealt with this during the course of the entire thing. I won't repeat that. In short, just to briefly summarize, these are like favorite quotes. I just want to emphasize the last point, okay, which is in the event of doubt, please consult. I mean, I'm not trying to pitch for my service, but if you view it as that, so be it. But the limited point is, whatever you're doing, see, at the end of the day, we are startups as well. The pressure that you go through, we also go through as well. So there's not much of a difference between the two of us. But again, like for example, I take a decision with respect to the software. For example, our email IDs. The first person who We were thinking of going to GoDaddy. We bought a domain ID for GoDaddy. We were thinking of having those email addresses. I spoke to Sanjay and Soli and said, why don't you go to Gmail? Gmail apparently gives you up to 10 users, 10 or 20 users, 10 users. So there's advice that each of us can sort of exchange in our respective. For example, things that I want to ask Sanjay and Soli for advice, what should I do? Likewise as well, we're just part of the whole game. There's not much of an age gap between each of us. So anything that you guys want to do, I mean, you have our contact addresses, be it a stupid, silly thing, give me a call, you say, please, let's just contact you, we'll be happy to sort of report. Because bottom line is, if you get things straight right up front, life becomes simple. And I'm so glad that we took this Gmail ID because we are just few of us right now, I don't have to pay a single penny. But had we were thinking of paying, getting a domain ID and paying for each email addresses a specific amount per month, we've saved on that cost. Now, how did I say this? Purely because I consulted people who know better than me. Likewise, when it comes to any corporate law, tax, or any legal matters, any help that you need, feel free to give us a call. That's the best that I can tell you. In this 2 hours that we've sort of given you a 30,000 square feet, 40,000 square feet understanding, we've tried to at least make you aware of common mistakes that people make. All these mistakes Mobley has made. So whatever we've told you right now, they have gone through the record. We are associated with them in a very, very close way. In fact, Sanjay, Soni and Vivek are my closest friends, one of my closest friends. In fact, the reason why I'm out today as a non-KPMG, I would have possibly come as part of the KPMG bandwagon and possibly spoken to you. The reason why I didn't come to you as a KPMG person was only because of the fact that I decided to grow all this very big for do something of your own. And I assure you, doing something of our own is the best thing to do at this stage. I mean, the kind of potential that is there is enormous. And the kind of deals that we're looking at, in fact, we also do funding for people as well. We try and find avenues that people can potentially come and invest. Sanjay is into a few projects where we are trying to help investors invest into his company, into their proposed ventures. We're trying to, there are a few other businesses which they are into as well. We are in, so with bottom line, we are into a fair gamut of services. So anything that you guys want to rope us in, we'd be happy to be our sounding board. Say, what do you think about this? We'll be able to tell you. We are dealing with fairly big clients. IBS is a client of ours, Suntech is a Kerala landscape. IBS, Suntech, US Technologies is among the big clients that we handle for your specific domain. Needless to say, Mobi is also another very close client of mine. So anything that you guys want to sort of discuss, feel free to give me a call. Jose is there as well. Balu is there as well. If at all I don't pick up the call, I'm sure he'll pick up the call. If you don't, Balu will pick up. Just drop in a message because I'm working with a few startups like CloudPad. I was telling this to George. CloudPad, his name is a big name. Arun, I think his surname is quite an interesting surname. He's not here. So I spoke with the CloudPad gentleman yesterday. There was another Deepu France, right? Deepu Kumar. So I've lost track of the number of people who called. My hearings will get another. And there was someone else on there. Few other. Inox is another one that we are working for. So if I let friends, I know. So thank you so much for your patience. Thanks John and thanks Gautam for organizing this. We'll have more sessions and this one we intended to as well. We won't able to try and get those small modules. I have a suggestion and I'd like to hear your thoughts. In fact, what you were suggesting to John, I can send you a preview. Third size of the that's why I'm just like, somebody you will white it out. And I think we can do a lot more practical illustrations of the here. So I don't have to get into too much of theory together. Then I thought, but I'm just simple 5 slides. Just imagine, I'm just slide water and author and mail it to you. Just to white it. You know, we can get a large part of practical illustrations. So it will help me to get, so if you look at this presentation, we'll try to get as much of practical illustrations so that you guys can benefit out. How do you do some more?
Yeah, sure. If there is any particular sector that you want to address, like Sherry was just mentioning about employment law, employee laws as well. If you give them a heads up, they could prepare for the session.
For example, planning your salary. Put them out there. We'll come into a session only on planning your salary. Legal salary, legal bit of the how do you plan on that? We can do a session purely dedicated on that. On law thing, what are the compliances of a company? I'm hoping that you're about to tell me, but nevertheless, you want to know what are the things to be done for a company. We can have a session on that. So you all can let me know whatever you want. We can make that into a small little module, just focus on that, focus on practical realities of like more. For example, point that mentioned on